Okay, a video on some of the stylistic and technical aspects of the current incarnation of Big Ole Yellow for Pi-Wars 2024. So this is actually based upon an older chassis and build I designed with these 3D printed parts, and that's a wide angle lens in there with a Pi camera behind it. It's been styled somewhat like a tank, and we went with a number of ideas but actually settled on this being both quite simple to print. That might have been famous last words, but it was simpler than the design we had before with some struts that were actually kind of a little bit weedy, and it comes across as being a stronger design, and it is simpler than the struts. It's based on a T200 chassis, so that is an off-the-shelf part, but this is all 3D printed, all this whole stuff. The top, there's a plate here, and there are 3 embedded screws in each side. Sorry, 3 embedded nuts in each side, and then these are kind of designed to be quick release screws to take this plate off, and then we can change what's going into the servo motors and clipped into this one other motor. So there's a Pimoroni Yukon, which is connected through to a Raspberry Pi via USB, where it's doing a USB UART. Internally, it's all using, there's an MQTT bus running on the Pi, or broker running on the Pi. It's doing an MQTT to UART over USB, which is actually signaling everything on the Yukon. It's also capable of copying code, so there's a Pi infra system that will copy code directly from my desktop onto the Yukon via the Pi. There are 2 motors with encoders here with these custom 90-degree gearboxes. There is a back area for USB battery, that's for powering the Pi and the logic. And then here is a pair of 18650s, which are used to drive the motors, including the servo motors and the rollers. Okay, that slid off because it's not quite bolted in place because I've been working on it. But it lets you get a look inside where we've got that big it's an XT30 connector. We've still got 2 bays left on the Yukon, which we might use for some lights. I was thinking either some running lights for fun, but also some headlights to help with the visuals. What else? I think the Nerf Dart launcher has been seen before. It's based on the little French Kev design. But it is just one of the interchangeable plates we can put onto this. We've also got some spare slots here for sensors, and I'm intending to put some of the VL53 series sensors, one on each side, so we've got a pair of sensors in addition to the camera. Underneath at the front, again not currently mounted but ready to mount, is a line sensor as well. So we'll be able to do line following, which I'm intending to use for the Lava Palava. I plan on possibly reprinting these front parts. So the front parts bolt in at the top here, which means I've got to kind of get a nut in under there. But this part wraps around and has actually got a cavity in the wraparound under part where I can push a nut in, slide the whole part across, put a bolt through, and it's held securely. It means partially it's easy to slide in once you've got the nut under, so I don't have to hold the nut in place. It also means that the nuts won't work loose while it's driving. So that is the technical so far. Oh yes, so I've got also the buttons, and the buttons here are connected through, the LEDs here are connected through on the MQTT bus. There is a phone app, and there is also a connection to via Bluetooth to this pad. That is Big Ole Yellow's technical and design.